This is Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook. Today, just today, or on Thursday, 2,800 sealed documents were finally released concerning the Kennedy assassination. 300 of those documents are still being withheld. John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963. That's 25 years ago. They are still withholding 300 documents, including testimony from the Dallas head of the CIA, the head of the CIA in Dallas. They won't release that. Anti-Castro exile testimony, and the man who met with Jack Ruby, the shooter of Oswald, right before he shot Oswald. Okay, so how convenient that, you know, this lone gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald, before he could be taken to trial, was murdered. Okay, and there's a direct connection between Jack Ruby, the man who shot him, and Lee Harvey Oswald, okay, the alleged lone gunman. So I want to look into, is this a conspiracy? Okay, was the Kennedy assassination a conspiracy? And by the way, 61% of Americans believe that this is a conspiracy, that the murder of our president is a conspiracy. Okay, and Lee Harvey Oswald, the alleged shooter, was questioned for 12 hours. Okay, and lo and behold, they weren't recorded. I'm sorry. That's completely absurd. That's completely absurd. Okay, so just the 12 hours of tape, and there's nothing. That tells me that something is, very rotten in Denmark. That right there. Okay, so we're going to start with, and I can't help but notice the comparisons between the lone shooter in Las Vegas and this alleged lone shooter of Lee Harvey Oswald. And I did a video on the lone shooter, on Stephen Paddock, and he came up as an innocent man, a patsy. Okay, and I also did a video on, let's make sure this is in focus. I also did a video on Princess Diana, and I concluded based on the cards that she was murdered. These are very disturbing events. So we'll start out with a Celtic cross, and we're just going to see what we see. Did the CIA murder John F. Kennedy? Was Lee Harvey Oswald a CIA operative? Is this a conspiracy? Okay, so right in the middle, we have the fox. The fox is very clever. The fox always wants something. The fox looks very nice, smells very nice, but is very clever and wants something. The fox is perhaps the fox and the snake are the most clever cards in the deck. Okay, so the CIA would be the fox. The government would be the fox. What's crossing that is the scapegoat. Okay, and Lee Harvey Oswald himself said, "I'm a patsy. I didn't do it." And his friends and family said he didn't do it. And just like the Las Vegas shooter, Stephen Paddock, he didn't have the skill to shoot in rapid succession 3 shots from that distance from the Dallas Book Repository accurately to hit John F. Kennedy. Lee Harvey Oswald was in the Marines, and he was rated a marksman, and his accuracy at shooting was so good that they made him a radar technician. Okay, he's not a good shooter. Lee Harvey Oswald was not a good shooter, and they tried to replicate the shots, and they couldn't do it with the same rifle and everything. They couldn't do it. Lee Harvey Oswald was probably not capable of making those shots from the book repository that killed John F. Kennedy. Okay, and likewise, Stephen Paddock simply did not have the skill to accurately shoot all those people. I forget how many people it is, like 500 people or something. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. Okay, so we have the fox, we have the scapegoat crossing, which is probably a patsy, CIA patsy. Water into wine. In a reading like this, water doesn't transform into wine. It lacks yeast and sugar. So in a reading like this, water into wine is often a fabrication or a lie. Okay, so fox, scapegoat patsy, everything's based on a lie. This is looking like a conspiracy to me. Behind is scourge. Okay, scourge is like, it's repeated striking. Okay, this is something that's painful and repeated. So this can be the shooting. This can be like in the Las Vegas shooting. This was automatic gunfire. So this here, the scourge is. I'm not sure. Maybe accusations, constant accusations. A lot of people, Howard Hunt, an actual CIA operative, on his deathbed said he was involved in this operation to kill John F. Kennedy, to kill our president. Oh my God. Okay, and he fingered Lyndon B. Johnson. He said it was called the Big Event, Operation Big Event, and he said Lyndon B. Johnson authorized the murder of our president. Just incredible. Above we have the Magi. The Magi is the most powerful card in the deck. This would be very powerful people. Controlling the CIA, creating a scapegoat, just a series of lies, repeated lies, and in the near future we have strength. Strength. They're withholding all these documents. They're keeping everything secret. So many secrets. Let's just talk about secrets for a minute. Before John F. Kennedy could be autopsied in Dallas, they moved his body to the Bethesda Naval Hospital. Okay, and I used to live up there, so I know what that's like. They're controlling. They didn't allow his body to be autopsied. Okay, the car that he was shot in, they immediately sent it to Chicago, where it was allegedly scheduled for refurbishing. I mean, what an excuse. Okay, and so before the police could get to it, they cleaned the crime scene and all of the evidence. Same thing with Lady Diana, who I did another video where I conclude that she was murdered. and they cleaned they she was murdered in a tunnel, in the London tunnel, and they cleaned the tunnel, and they opened it to traffic, and and also with the Vegas shooting, very conveniently, Stephen Paddock was dead when they found him, and dead men don't talk. So they've got a real grip on things, very strong. Okay, so this is very much looking like a conspiracy to me. I mean, this is all conspiracy, and this is like too powerful. And they kill or whatever. They killed Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm pretty sure they killed the guy who shot him. They 12 hours of interrogation, and you didn't videotape this? Really? Okay. Were all of the people who did that fired or better shot? No. I guarantee you they were rewarded. So what do we have in the outcome position here? Some interesting cards. We have Karmic Shift, we have Star of Bethlehem, we have Straight Razor, and we have Olive Tree. Interesting. Olive Tree and Strength are very similar cards. Just locking it down, keeping the sheeple calm, okay, and just going forward, okay. And the very powerful Magi is just, they're controlling everything, okay. And here, the seventh position most closely relates to the first position. So Karmic Shift is a big change. The Fox, this deceptive, clever person or organization, made a huge change in American society. I mean, the death of John F. Kennedy just rocked our nation, and it's just a scar. Even Nostradamus wrote about it. That's how big of an event, of a world event that was. And everybody remembers where they were the day that John F. Kennedy was shot, including my parents, my mother, my father, everybody. And it actually came up in discussion even when I was younger. People and events, Star of Bethlehem. Star of Bethlehem is a direction, and this is a positive card. We're just going in this positive direction. So they waited 25 years before they released any documents, and it just keeps us going in this nice direction. Straight Razor, cut. They're cutting the information. And finally, we end with the Olive Tree. Interesting. So let's look at this briefly. Okay, the Kennedy assassination. This is the grassy knoll. Behind John F. Kennedy is the book depository where Oswald was. His head jerked backwards and blood spattered on these police officers right here. Okay, a shot from behind would jerk his head forward and no blood would spatter here. So the shot that spattered blood on these officers came from the front or the right. This is the right, I guess. I guess it looks opposite in the picture. This is the grassy knoll. So there was a shooter here, there was a shooter here, and blood spattered here. They cleaned up the limo. They took the body away so it couldn't be autopsied. They all the witnesses, just like Las Vegas, said that there were shots in front and behind, and they explained this as echoes. Okay, that's exactly what they're doing in Las Vegas. Oswald himself said, "I'm a patsy." Stephen Paddock, in my reading, came up as an angel, Jack of Hearts, an innocent man. The limo, okay, in Las Vegas, Paddock was dead. They controlled everything. Lady died. They cleaned the tunnel and reopened traffic before the evidence could be collected. So let's summarize here. Let's see. Do I need to ask? Let's just summarize what I have here. Was this a conspiracy? Was this a murder and a conspiracy by your government to murder John F. Kennedy? Okay, we have the fox and we have the scapegoat. He was a patsy. Okay, the clever fox is the CIA. They planned this and they murdered our president. Okay, and LBJ, he's the guy apparently who ordered it, according to Howard Hunt, who was a CIA operative and who was involved in this. And he made a deathbed confession because I guess his heart was heavy. Water into wine, everything they're telling you is a complete fabrication. Scourge, it just keeps coming up because everybody knows your government is lying to you. And they're lying to you about so many things. It's very disturbing. The Magi, the Magi is too powerful. The Magi can manifest anything, okay, and strength. They're just keeping everything on lockdown, and a few people are controlling everything. They control everything. And this is terrible. This is not freedom, and this is the opposite of the Constitution. The Constitution of the United States sets up physical and structural safeguards to prevent exactly what is happening to society right now. Okay, so karmic shift, Star of Bethlehem, straight razor, olive tree. This fox created a huge change. It was so big even Nostradamus wrote about it. Star of Bethlehem, it's all about keeping everybody calm and just going forward and not rocking the boat. They killed Harvey Oswald before he could get to trial, and I think they killed the guy who killed him. I'm not sure. I'm sure they silenced him. And it's all about the olive tree, keeping the solid direction, the olive tree, keeping everything on lockdown. So, I don't really need to pull more cards here to explain this. This is, it's clearly a conspiracy. I'm going to advise, okay, and in society right now, okay, we have the EU. Just yesterday, I think, Catalonia, and I visited there. Catalonia just voted to exit from Spain. And Spain just went crazy. Okay, we just had Brexit. Okay, and next is going to be Texit and Calexit. Okay, California and Texas are going to exit. What's happening is the world is being consolidated under the power of a very few, the King of Diamonds Magi. A good example of this is Harvey Weinstein. He's more powerful than the president. He was raping women for 30 years or 40 years, and nobody could do anything. And our president, William Jefferson Clinton, was put through an impeachment. Harvey Weinstein is more powerful than the president, okay? And instead of people saying, hey, who are these people telling us about our values? They're raping women. And the next thing that's going to come out is a huge pedophilia scandal in Hollywood, okay? I guarantee it. Then Corey Feldman keeps talking about he's going to expose these pedophiles in Hollywood. He was just arrested. The very next thing that's going to happen is a huge pedophilia scandal that's going to go all the way to the top. Steven Spielberg, those people, the very top of the Hollywood food chain. And these are the people telling us what to think. These are the people telling you that you're a racist. And that you're too stupid to know what's really going on. So this is clearly a conspiracy. When all the power is held in the hands of a few, the world will be destroyed by fire. Okay? And that's what we're coming to. We need to take the red pill, folks. We need to disaggregate the power base down to the states and further and further and further, so that the federal government and a few people don't hold all the power, okay? Because they'll just lie to you, and they'll even murder the president. They murdered the president. Stephen Paddock is a patsy, and all those people were murdered. What's going on? This is very disturbing. So, anyway, take the red pill, folks. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon, both Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook.